Good morning. Yet another video, and this will be the first time we're dropping shark bait via kayak. And my plan today is to have 3 poles out. We're gonna cast a chunk of fish for smaller sharks up close. That would be bonnet heads and baby black tips. And then we're gonna kayak drop, get beyond that sandbar out there, kayak drop a chunk of bonita and target 5 to 6 pound sharks. We're gonna have a third pole, pompano rig. All the reports around here are that the whiting bite is starting to pick up in this part of the panhandle of Florida, and pompano, nothing. So no reports of pompano, very few reds, and the whiting bite is just now getting going. We're getting those temperatures in the mid 60s and almost 70, which is amazing for here. This is actually above average, but this is the same area that had that snow. So, and we're gonna break down kind of my system on getting the fish on the hook without bridling the bait, whether it's mullet, whiting, or bonita. I went ahead and got a piece of, or a full-size frozen bonita, because the whiting bite's been slow, so I can't trust that I'll catch any bait yet until the whiting bite picks up and this water warms up. So we'll outline everything we're doing today, and hopefully have a 5 to 6 foot shark on today. So believe it or not, bolt cutters required by law. They don't have to be this big, but I like to try to get the actual hook out and cut the hook instead of just cutting the line. Although you're allowed to cut the line and have that salt water corrode the hook, but if you can help the shark out, I'm always going to. All right, tail chunk of bonita is out on the Penn Sphere 6000 reel and the Penn Battle 3 rod. Very simple setup. I mean, literally just as far as I can throw it, and add a little bit of weight and piece of bonita tail with the circle hook, the non-stainless steel, what do they call it, offset or non-offset circle hook, which is required by law when shark fishing. And so this pole is just targeting bonnet head like I caught yesterday, or a small black tip. That's about all you would expect to hit this, is a little bonnet head or a black tip. The only other thing that could happen potentially is a bull red, a big old redfish, like in that chunky piece of bonita. So we'll see. And this rig is what I caught the bonnet head on yesterday, and we're gonna go with your classic pompano rig with a little piece of shrimp and a little piece of fish bites. If you're not familiar with this, fish bites and fish gum, it's literally the power bait of the ocean. I mean, everybody uses this stuff and it's effective. There's a little mesh net in here that really keeps it on the hook. It dissolves slowly over time, and which actually makes it good for the environment. It completely dissolves. If you don't get a bite for hours, it'll be gone even without getting bit. But standard pompano rig, size 1 ounce weight, because there's not too many, it's not too rough of a sea today, and you know, kind of that double hook pompano rig, which is pretty standard with these colorful beads and floats, which I think are an attractor, but designed to be obviously just a float. And then we go to the shark. Not least is the Penn Battle 3 8000 with 80-pound braid, but you only get about 350, 400 yards of 80-pound braid, and so I can't go that far. I got to leave some room for the shark to run, and that's just paired with the Fierce 3 rod. And there's a number of ways you can do this, but again, I don't use shark reels or shark rods for what I'm targeting. My spinning gear has been just fine over the years, so this will be the kayak drop shark. The other thing I'll mention on the shark casting pole, and I do the same thing when I drop bait via kayak, is I haven't opened the bail, but the drag is very loose, very loose. Shark don't like to feel that pressure. I'm gonna let that line run and then hand crank this when I set the hook and fight it. And I'll do the same thing, obviously, when I'm kayaking out the bait to free spool it, and then when it's just sitting there, because I want that shark to run. I want him to think he's got it and run. I don't want him to feel pressure. As opposed to like whiting or pompano, I'm looking for that rod to bend. I set the drag to wherever I want it for the fight with whiting and pompano. Pretty simple, waiting for the rod to bend. But this one, the rod may not bend as much as this line just starts to go. And it can be subtle, or it can be dramatic. That's the fun part, right? Okay, I'm ready to go. Got my weight, and just a 2 with this, how the seas are today. 6 foot steel leader, and this is my system. This is a bonita head, and probably my favorite. I've caught sharks on body parts and tails too, but they say there's chemicals that release from the brain that are even better. If you guys know anything about that, comment below. This is kind of my system. I didn't bridle this at all. This is not coming off. It's just frozen enough to be good, I think. And so I don't bridle it. I don't like putting rope and zip ties and cable ties in the ocean or in a shark. So this is my system. This is also my system. Fish bite right here. Why the fish bite? Well, I think the fish bite is going to help prevent this hook from backing out. And also, obviously, if there's little fish chomping on this fish bite, that's going to even be more to draw a shark in. So this is a Steve thing. This is a Steve thing, but so I haven't bridled this at all, but I don't lose sharks for not bridling. And I don't know. I know there's some simple ways to bridle, but this is really simple and it's always worked for me. And we're going to kayak out. My wife, you might hear, my wife will be on the walkie-talkie, and sometimes she can tell me, you know, where I am in relation to a sandbar, to drop past a sandbar, and she can tell me how much line is left on my reel, and then we'll just go out and drop this guy and come back. Off we go. These waves are my style. Not a huge fan of getting thrown in the ocean with a cut piece of fish on me. Here's the sandbar that you can see, but we're gonna go way beyond that. And again, with my capacity, I'm just going 150 yards out or so, maybe 200 yards. Then that, again, that leaves me 200 yards left on the reel, because I don't want to litter the ocean with a bunch of braided line. But you're, you know, specifically targeting like 5 to 6 footers out here. Caught them as big as 7, had them as big as, or as small as 3 feet, and it just got a lot deeper right here. This is actually, it's so relaxing. If I didn't have the potential for this to run, I would just stay out here. Dolphins go by and you're 10 feet from dolphins.
Just beyond that first sandbar.
So that's my wife talking, and I don't talk back because I don't have a free hand. But I give her a thumbs up, and so she's talking to me through the walkie-talkie and just said that I am just past the first sandbar. That's good for me to know, because it's easier for her to see than me, and she can tell me how much line is left on my reel. So that's the walkie-talkie system, so I don't talk to her.
Line left. You got 2 gold rings showing is all.
So I gave her another thumbs up because she said plenty of line left, 2 gold rings showing, and so she's kind of, my wife's kind of learned like those rings that are on every reel. She's learned like where I want to be when I drop this, but I'm in really deep water now. I mean, I'm already in 4 to 6 foot shark territory. And let's look back really quick. Yeah, I can go further. But so yeah, your drone, obviously your drone, you know, gets you way the hell out, almost you know, half a mile or more, but I'm not targeting 12-foot tiger sharks. And one of the main reasons I don't target 12-foot tiger sharks is because my wife and 3 kids, my 3 young kids, are not going to be very helpful, no offense, if I get one. So it's kind of all about my gear and my rig and how much help I have.
That's probably about half your line.
Okay, so she said half my line. And so what that means to me is I'm going to take this guy and drop it, and you know it's not coming off the hook because I'm just dropping it. So beauty of the kayak thing. So all right, my bait is sinking and we're gonna go back. And yes, I have had the line take off with a shark on before I even get back before, but you guys can see kind of how far I went out. I don't know, what is that, 200 yards? All right, we're back with that much line capacity left, plenty to fight the shark. And you guys saw how far I went out, and this is not an open bail, but it's pretty loose. It's pretty loose. You want that shark to be able to run with it. And then I'm gonna have to hand crank this. Disadvantage of regular tackle and spinning gear, but it's fine. I'm going to hand crank this and try to set the hook. Sometimes they're kind of on, but you still set the hook. And it can get real exciting here, hopefully in an hour or two. There's been kind of an early afternoon bite that's been really regular in February where I'm at anyways. That's been a lot of fun. And it can start to just barely move, or it can just scream. You never really know. Sometimes you have time, and other times it's heading to Mexico and you grab it. So 2 things I hope this video helps you guys out with is just to show you how simple and easy this is. I have never hired a guide for shark fishing, and I've never gone at night, and so obviously it's good at night, but with family and everything, I'm not pulling an all-nighter and camping out on the beach. So in fact, the kind of the 2 p.m. bite and the sunset bite has been what's been good this time of year with my system. I've never caught one in the morning and never caught a single one before noon, and I've never even tried at night. So that mid-afternoon towards sunset, some of you guys have seen the pictures and videos I've put up of like the sunset right behind the shark picture. So hopefully that is the case again today, because it's about 1:15 p.m. on, what is this, February 3rd, 2025. Hit on the pompano rig. He's on. Another good one. Could be a bonnet head again. Sure feels like a shark. That is crazy. Whiting doing nothing, and I think it's another small shark. We're not gonna keep it. One of you guys said bonnet head are delicious, but I don't mess with them as far as bleeding them out and all that. So we have ourselves a teeny shark. Oh, this guy's adorable. Is he foul hooked? No, he's pinned. Tiny bonnet head. Tiny bonnet head. These guys are cool. So small version of what I caught yesterday, and he choked it right there. I went ahead and trashed my pompano rig just to save this guy's life, actually. Let's get a look at him here. Cool looking. Let him go. Oh yeah, baby bonnet.
Bonnet! Is this your first catch?
Yeah, first catch of the day. Took the shrimp again. Isn't that cool? So.
I was coming this way.
See you, buddy.
What?
You guys made it back down just in time. It's happening. This is the exciting part. Tighten the drag. He's on. Come on. Come on, buddy. Get control. Get control. Get control. All right. He should be pinned. He should be pinned. All right. Okay. All right. Yep. I gotta text my wife because I need help. Oh, come on. All right. Send my wife a shark emoji. Okay. All right. I should have the cavalry coming. We're gonna hope this guy's pinned. All right, so it took all day for this pole to run, but we got one. So again, he's coming towards me right now. This near sunset bite has happened before. And oh, yep. All right, okay, come on, stay pinned. Stay pinned. Come on. All right, I'm winning. You tuck these pole between your legs. You can get a waist harness when you're fighting 10-footers, but I just tucked this pole between my legs. This was a dramatic take. It wasn't subtle like sometimes. The line just started to run. So we got him under control for the moment, because it's not going down to my knot. So we should be good, and my family should be coming to help out. It's about to get real fun. He's still on. Stay tight, come on. Stay pinned. Stay pinned. One thing I'll do is I'll have my boys bring in the other poles, and so they could be in the way here in a little bit. And my guess is we're about to show you a sandbar shark. That's just what history would suggest is this will be a sandy. And I don't know, I have control. As far as my line, I have control. He's not likely to get to my knot and break off. And so I'll estimate that he's in the 4 to 5 foot range. And experience would tell me this is a sandbar shark, which is a prohibited species. So we will be letting this guy go and doing the best we can. And we hope we bring him in. The only thing tricky about, I'm still in the first 7 minutes of this fight, but the only thing tricky about spinning gear is, boy, the hook set is tricky. I mean, a lot of times they're pinned, but the hook set's tricky because you're hand tightening the drag, and all the while, you know, trying to figure out where you need to be to get some kind of hook set. So it's tricky, but this is my system. The Pin Battle 8000 has brought in a lot of sharks. This is 80-pound braid. 80-pound braid should be just fine. And I'm winning the initial part of the war because it's not going to get to my knot, it would appear. My drag is set just perfect, as you guys have seen, so that should be entertaining. You can feel, if you've never done this, you can literally feel them thrash their head. You can just, like that, it's unreal. You can feel them thrash their head, and at least that lets me know I don't have an endangered turtle on, and I don't have a stingray on. And I don't mean bait, I'm saying an actual stingray. Those are the two things you can catch accidentally, is stingray and turtles. And this is a shark. I think some guys catch Goliath groupers. That would be cool. But I would take a Goliath grouper. But this is a shark. Okay, so yeah, I like to, if possible, I like to bring these guys in 30-40 minutes. If they're 6 foot long, 30 minutes is going to be better for the health of the shark. But there's no bringing them in really quick. But hopefully I get this one in fairly soon. Wife got my text and she's coming down. I got no one here to help me, and the only reason I need help is I got to get the bolt cutters and cut the line, and usually I give my pole to my kid and then I can cut the line. And I got 2 goals when that happens. Number 1 is not lose my leg, and number 2 is the safety of the shark, and especially a prohibited species stays in the water and stays alive. But we're winning the war. I'm no spring chicken, but you know, put the rod between your legs. That's how you fight these guys. You know, you can put them under your armpit too, but this is the best way. Yeah, I don't have a waist harness because, you know, this guy is not that big. He's probably 100 pounds, maybe 125. I really don't know, but I don't get too fatigued with this system. But I love it. I mean, I don't have a fancy, just like I always say on my channel, I don't make it rocket science. I keep it simple. This is spinning gear. I don't have a shark rod, I don't have a shark reel, and I do quite well with my system. Quite well. You can kind of feel when you're able to reel in and gain some ground on him. Obviously you don't want it to go slack, tight lines, but you know, I've only gut hooked one of these, what do they call it, non-offset circle hooks. This non-stainless steel circle hooks are designed to hook in the side of the mouth. They're designed to hook in the side of the mouth and have the shark survive, and that's what happens 95% of the time. And so you kind of get that feel for when you can start to gain ground. All right, my boys, daughter and wife came down, and the only reason I even walked the beach at all is to get away from my other 2 poles that are in, even though they weren't that far out. And AJ just reeled those guys in. So it's a mistake to start walking the beach. You bring the shark to you and you control it. You don't need to start walking the beach and fighting it like you would some fish. You stay in control and bring the fish to you. Fight the fish and don't let it fight you. But I can come back now to where we set up initially because AJ thankfully brought the other poles in. Got a little fight left, but I've gained a lot of line, and the reel and drag just screaming is over for now, which is good. They do not like it when you get them to the sandbar because they kind of know they're in trouble at that point. And when you get them to like 3 foot of water, he's still, I don't know, 50 yards out, but they don't like that sandbar. Gotta look at him. Sandbar tail. So sandbar shark. He's only like 10 yards out now. All right, AJ.
Yep.
It's your turn. It's your turn. Hold her out up high, okay?
Walk him out. There he goes.
How about that? Let's freaking go. Does it get better than that? I never get tired of sharks. What was that? 4.5, 5 foot sandbar shark. Who knows what that weighs? 75, 100 pounds. It's a good one. Just an estimate. I've caught quite a bit bigger than that, but that's a good one. And was it Nikki and Scott? I think I just met. So only had 2 other people besides my family watching me bring that one in. I don't mind a crowd. It's fun. They love the release. Everybody claps for the release. So little sunset here, and that's a heck of a day. That sat for 5 hours. That piece of bonita head just chumming up the water sat for 5 hours and then just ran, and that's how it goes. I mean, the goal is just 1 run a day. I mean, but it's crazy how I just don't get skunked. No one's catching whiting and pompano here. I think they are near Pensacola, but crazy how I don't get skunked for 4 to 6 foot shark. Even with the whiting and pompano aren't biting, February is a great month for shark fishing. That was a sandbar shark. I tried to be careful. I cut the hook. I mean, it's a prohibited species. If that thing would have died, I would have called a phone number and reported it. And so that's not one you can keep. So I did the best I could. You're trying to not lose a leg, and you're trying to get that thing back safely. So I think he lived. He swam off. But very fun, little bonnet head, and then the sandy. And but yeah, we have had a couple crazy incidents with the family. One time we dropped bait and the line was running before I got the kayak back. And then another time we put 2 out there and we caught 2 6-foot sharks at the same time. And at the time, my only help was a 9-year-old. So yeah, we decided to only do 1 pole today. So it could have been a skunk, but we got it in the 11th hour, right before the sunset. So that's the goal, is 1. I mean, especially when you only have 1 pole out and 1 piece of fish. 1 is the goal, and we got 1, and the little baby bonnet to boot. So hope you guys enjoyed that. We kind of broke it all down as far as my system with the kayak and the bait. Very simple. My entire rig is $200 off Amazon with the pin equipment. So nothing fancy here. We keep it simple. So that was freaking sweet. Oh man, I freaking love that. That's a freaking rush. Some people skydive. I catch sharks. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.